posted it. Where is it? Or the stream that JF did about Blonde. That shit was funny, bro. I didn't watch all of it, but this is the clip from it. This is a clip from it that I posted. This shit is funny as hell.
Things are wrong or ever want to do anything about it.
Rebecca, I mean, I'm shaking just putting her on screen. She is fucking hot. I would come inside that woman 50,000 times, no love lube. She is a fucking wonder of nature, and she shows up in these sexy Japanese kimono
Rebecca?
style.
Yeah, Blonde.
I mean,
That's her real name, Rebecca, but
had a song about this.
She went by Blonde or whatever.
Talking like it's tough and trying to tell me that it's time to go. Yeah. But I know you ain't wearing nothing underneath that overcoat and it's all a show. Yeah. That kind of loving makes me want to pull down the shade. That kind of loving. Yeah, now I'm never gonna be the same. I go crazy.
WJF. Hell yeah, dude. This is gonna be real one day, dude. This will be real one day. Hell yeah. Reports say Iranian missile strikes Bahrain's Babco refinery. Ooh.
That guy not allowed in our country either.
Wow, that's cool. So that's how I can handle when I need to. I can just turn off the YouTube, turn off the Substack, and redo it. That's cool. I don't have to end the kick. That's actually sick. I didn't even think about that. Oh. Dude, I'm kind of hungry. I want Taco Bell. I want Goy Slop. But I can wait. Taco Bell, I think, closes at 3 a.m. Let me see. When does Taco Bell close? Oh, yeah, 3 a.m., dude. 3 a.m., dude. We got time. We got time. We got time, dude.
You going to Vegas with sober Luland Pay?
No, I talked about this earlier. And I said it in Lowell's stream one day. Forget which day, but no, I don't want to.
But I could never.
I don't want to just third wheel with Lulz and Pay, and you know I'm gonna just let them do their Vegas relationship trip thing. I don't really want to be like the I would have, if Psychotic would have came, then yeah, I would have been down for sure, because it would have been more of like a group thing, or like Wooza or Trident or anybody really, but nobody could make it. So like, and plus I'm got stuff, and I'm probably going to Florida in May anyways, so I like not moving there yet, but going there to check it out. So yeah. I like the gorditas. Yeah, the cheesy gordita crunches. Sometimes though, I don't like it with the lettuce. Sometimes I don't like it with the lettuce.
Geezer Moggs, the more trip is cooked.
Heck yeah, dude. Benjamin Netanyahu's wishing the Christians and friends in Israel a happy and joyful Easter. Hell yeah. What I thought the Jews hate Christians. I thought the Jews hate
They are
Christians.
disgusting.
Anyways.
No, I have
Oh,
to
that's what
be
that
like
was.
twice burning a Jew, you heard.
Yo!
Explain to them what we're going to be doing. No, Charlie, you better explain to them what we're going to be doing. Come on. And give Donald a little kiss for the camera.
Hey, Star 90s. What does that mean? I was not even alive in the 90s. Well, I was born in 98,
We're going
but
to be playing Ouija.
I was not alive in
Let's
the.
see how
I
we-
grew up in the 2010s.
Ok, ya estoy grabando, chicos.
If you're really
That was
the
like my
ghost of
formative
Diddy, show us a sign.
years.
Se está moviendo, se está moviendo. ¡Ay, no! ¡Donald Trump!
Diddy, stop!
¡No away! Jeffrey, ayúdalo.
Diddy, go away! Why don't you explain to them what we're going to be doing? No, Charlie, you better explain to them what we're going to be doing.
That was crazy.
And give Donald a little kiss for the camera.
That was crazy. Oh. Let's go. Curtis Yarvin wants a white Boston back. Let's go. It's real slime, Charlie. Nick Wickley quit streaming.
I'm not gonna stream anymore, but so what the fuck am I even saying? But it'd be more interesting to me to restart under a new name and then just redo it entirely.
What?
This account sucks. almost 32,000 followers, no actual viewers. That's it for tonight. I'll see you guys, I don't know, in a year from now or some shit. I don't know.
Well, that's what happens when you build your brand off Ice Poseidon.
A rebrand isn't gonna help Nick Lee.
Well, I like Nick Wickley, to be fair. I want money from him somehow. Nick Wickley, hire me for something. I don't know.
Lulz glazed that dude so hard.
Lowe's was trying to get money. Oh my gosh, look at this fucking post that Sneeko made. Oh fuck no. Get him out, dude! I wish I could tweet right now. Oh my god. I'm crashing out, dude. I can't respond to this. I can't do anything. Report it? Can I report? Let me see. Terrorism and violent extremism. Done. There we go. Okay. Fuck, bro. That's disgusting.
Terrorism.
I wish I could frickin' respond, dude. Can't do anything. The hell is that? Oh my gosh, some retarded Catholic crap on the flag. No. That would piss off
I'm going to
this would piss off Shia. Oh no. That shit is honestly genuinely pissing me off that Sneeko posted this. That's fuck you, Sneeko. Dude, that's fucking crazy. I can't believe he posted this. Sneeko needs to be deported. Sneeko needs to be deported. Holy moly, I'm crashing out right now. I'm crashing out, dude. That's crazy. That's a funny one. Reminder, Iran is winning, the US and Israel are losing. Yeah, yeah. Tweeted from Moscow, by the way. Tweeted from Moscow, by the way.
Cosmopolitan, even. Everybody knows the rules. And the rules are you don't disrespect Islam. And the whole country abides by that. And there's laws governing public displays of affection, modesty, all kinds of things. And nobody seems to have a problem because they know they don't mess around there. They take their religion seriously. And when you land at that airport...
Dude, Fuentes wants fucking Islamic law in America. Dude, of course Megyn Kelly's having on this guy. This guy's literally a Russian agent, bro. Do we gotta play the shit of that? Where is it? I have it. Dude, that's crazy. I'm telling you, it's a big Russian fucking op. There's a whole network of people. Where's the video of this fuck? Where is it?
Nick wants loyalty to Jews.
Oh yeah, look at Brillium in the Great Bets t-shirt. That's crazy. Oh man, where I forget where it was, man. John Kurgio. Where's the video? There was a video from this one account that was good and exposed him. Where's this?
When Putin first became president, he floated the idea of Russia joining NATO. Clinton's like, we don't really like that idea very much. And he said, okay, if you won't let Russia in NATO, at least don't allow any of the countries on our border to join NATO. And Clinton said, that we can agree to. Next thing you know, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and Poland all join NATO, directly on the Russian border. Then, when Obama becomes president, at a summit with Putin, Putin said, I spoke with Clinton years ago about Russia joining NATO. It's something that we would like to explore. And Obama said, we don't think that's going to happen. And he said, okay, well, you guys lied to me about these other countries joining NATO. So don't allow Ukraine to join NATO.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? This is insanely just retarded and not even true at all. And Putin has basically, for the most part, always been hostile to NATO.
This is going to be a serious problem otherwise. And he's like, okay, we won't. And then Joe Biden becomes president, and he's like, oh, you know, Ukraine would be a great addition to NATO. And the Russians said, we've had enough.
Oh my god, we've had enough. Fuck you. Where is... I don't know where that video is. Russian agent. Dude, I don't know where it went. Oh yeah, dude, this is... Yeah, don't watch that video. It's a rage bait. I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh, here it is.
John Kiriakou. You've probably seen him in your feed. He's on lots
There
of
we
popular
go.
American podcasts. Joe Rogan, Julian Dory, Dalton Fisher. Well, beware of every single thing he says. He's been on the Russian payroll for years. Kiriakou was a co-host of Political Misfits on Radio Sputnik, part of the Kremlin news agency created in 2013 by Vladimir Putin.
Directly funded by Putin.
Before that, he worked at the CIA. He pleaded guilty to exposing American waterboarding, and so he might seem an easy hero. And that's exactly the ideal voice for Moscow. It was the CIA and the State Department that were responsible for the 2014 overthrow of the Ukrainian government in the first place, he wrote in 2024 of Ukraine's widespread and hugely popular Maidan Revolution. He knows exactly.
Maidan was based.
And so does Moscow. He took Moscow's money.
Fuck the Maidan haters.
Now
Maidan was based as hell.
Watch out.
W Maidan. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, yeah. I said yeah. Yeah.
You know Zelensky is a Jew and has a stooge for
So what?
Chabad.
He's saving. He's a great leader, and he's been able to push back the evil Russian Empire and save a lot of Ukrainians from being occupied by Russia. Zelensky's a war hero, dude. Fuck you.
No, has feeding the Ukrainians to their death so
No, he's not.
their land and build enclaves. No,
Putin's the one invading. How is he feeding Ukrainians to their death? He got money to have Ukraine actually be able to defend itself against Putin's invasion. What the fuck kind of logic is this? What logic is this? What logic? Putin's invading them. Retard. Hey, they're not getting fed to the death. They're defending their country against Putin invading them. Fuck.
Let ISO call in.
It's actually that, like, it doesn't even make sense, the line of thinking that even comes from. I hate when people say shit like that.
Both Zelensky and Putin are working together to...
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. There's nothing to watch. Tourism.
They are both Jewish and the Jews put their puppets in the governments.
Okay. That doesn't stop the reality that Russia and Putin are directly involved in invading Ukraine, and Ukraine is fighting a defensive war against them. So, however way you want to spin it, that it's the Jews or whatever, dude, Ukraine is a 99% white country getting invaded by a multi-ethnic empire that's supposedly a global power, but can't even win against their neighbor. So, anyways, you're retarded.
There is a higher way to view it than 8.
No, that's the only way to view it.
What a lovely play for corruption.
All these places suck.
No, that's the trap for the average person's mind to see. So the Jews are not blamed. Kolomoisky and Chabad picked Zelensky to be president, made him president, and started the war with Russia to feed them to the meat grinder.
Zelensky didn't start the war. Putin started the war by invading Ukraine. You are retarded.
No, Ukraine attacked the eastern provinces first. This is basic knowledge in 8.
No. 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 The eastern provinces, what do you mean? That was Ukraine, and there was Russian-backed separatist groups that were trying to create autonomous regions within Ukraine. Okay? What are you talking about? That's like if Mexico funded cartel groups to create, take over cities in Texas, okay? Or something, and declare them part of Mexico. Like, what are you on about? You're retarded. You don't know anything.
Ukraine was Russia. Jews created a division to turn it into its own country. The eastern provinces wanted to go with Russia cause they are Russian.
No, they didn't want to go to Russia. It was Russian-backed separatist groups that were a small percentage of the population but were literally equipped with military equipment, and were trying, and they were all commies too. All of these separatist groups, ideologically communist, literally. Like they were like ideological communist separatist groups that were trying to break away to Russia. Like, what are we? No, and they were backed by the Kremlin. Like, and they were also, a lot of them were like dual Ukrainian Russian citizens. Okay, which, to be fair, there's a lot of Ukrainians that have family in Russia. As much as like whatever, like yeah, that is true. Like there is a lot. But also Ukraine's a sovereign nation too. It's a sovereign nation, and for them to like be against Russia funding separatist groups is okay. Like, why would, like, that's not, of course they're going to be against that. Like, what do you mean?
Even the citizens of Crimea overwhelmingly wanted to join Russia before they were annexed.
Crimea is a little bit different. Crimea is not the same as the Donbass and Zaporizhia and stuff. It's not the same. And I still don't think Russia should have gotten Crimea. I still don't think so, either way. What's Nico doing?
Chat, where is the light mode, mother fricker? Is it native to your browser? No, it's not. It's in Twitter. Let me ask Grok. Change X to light mode. Let's see, go to X, 3-dot settings, accessibility.
Why is he trying to change X to light mode?
Oh, here, display. There we go. Boom. Boom. Boom, there we go. There we go. Oh yes, I know, yes, I know, yes, I know, yeah.
What is he doing? Why is he getting that tweet?
So I put my cards on the table. This on light mode. Iran war. Desktop. Iran war on PC.
Nico scum. Everything's boring. Is there any spaces going on? Oh, there's a Zag space going on right now.
Regime has in Iran, 100%, and there's no chance to kick them out of power through elections. You know,
if he was in charge of Israel.
If there was no chance to kick him out of power through elections, then yes, it's a big thing. You know, people like have become really cynical on democracy, but it does matter, because as much as any of us could have hated Obama or whatever, right, or Biden, you know, in 4 years you have at least a fighting chance to kick those motherfuckers out of office. If you don't have that chance, yeah, 100%, and they're throwing, you know, they're doing all the things they've done without getting melodramatic about it, then yeah, like there's a chasm, there's such a huge chasm between you know, between the Iranian people and the regime. And that's just it's the truth.
That's not something I'm disputing. And I've said repeatedly that, like, I'm not disputing, and I don't really care what the Iranian people think. That's up to them. I just kind of find it weirdly.
No, but people try to make them feel bad for, like, oh, you're supporting bombing your own country. It's like, yes.
Hold on. Wait,
that's my issue with bombing your own country, especially when you still have family living there. So you're advocating for your family to get bombed.
Well, chances are the family supports it too, or you know, there's a good chance. Like, the
people
diaspora,
of
most of them.
Iran are happy with
okay
what's
that they get
going
killed
on.
because
The
they
people
feel
of
right. Like,
Iran, I know
let's
for
just
a
treat everyone
fact
like
they
martyrs.
Yeah, let me just say this. I want to sort of echo what Bond's saying. I think, excuse me, hold on. I had to cough. I think it's one thing for Americans to be like, yeah, bomb into the Stone Ages. They want to come for our pilots, do this. We don't like we attacked them, sure, but we're in this. So once you're in this, there's like a rally around the flag effect.
They
Bond's
can
right.
stop it any
It's
time.
weird. It's weird for the diaspora to be like bomb, 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 bomb Iran, bomb Iran. Now I'm not saying I'm seeing that from Saffron or whatever, but I have seen diaspora being like, don't care, bomb them, bomb them. The country's already been destroyed by the mullahs. Bomb it, destroy it, rebuild it, rip it down to the ground. We will blah blah blah. I've seen that argument, and to me, it is a little bit strange because a lot of those people do have family
Why don't you?
there.
Why do you not
well,
understand
I
it,
think
Vegano?
you
They
have
see the regime.
the proper thing to do would be to have a conversation with that person because you have to understand what part of their life did they leave
These are
Iran because the
mostly
diaspora are not
anonymous
just
shit
people.
posters with big
Well, hold on.
sort of shop, pro
Right,
shop.
right,
But
right. But the
Vegano, it does
diaspora
make
didn't
sense.
just
It
leave
does
during
make
the
sense.
time of the Shah overthrowing the revolution. People have come here 10 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. They have lived through hell until they were able to get to America. And for them, what they had to go through to get out of there and hopefully get their family out of there is hell. And for them, probably the idea of talking about bombing Iran is a lot better than
What
what it is
space is
right
this?
now,
These people
what they've had to
sound
go
like
through
newts.
to get out of there in the situation that they're in right over there. So
But
I know it sounds
it's not just
strange
that, Saffron.
to a lot of people, but I think that's when you should encourage start a conversation with that person to kind of understand where they're coming from. Why would they
Well,
say such a thing?
so let me just say
I mean,
this.
to be
There was
fair, Zach, I'd
But
rather they be cheering on America's
Oh, here
action
we
than
go
the
with the
regime. What
back.
the fuck are we asking here? Do I
no,
want
no,
people
I
loyal? I
I
want
mean, the
people. What are we
diaspora, they
talking
Exactly.
love.
about?
I
Exactly.
find
Yeah.
it to be odd. That doesn't mean I think it's like bad or unnecessary. But what I
I
I
mean,
mean,
you might want to let
one
in more
we're hanging on
IRGC
every
sympathizers, but I
people.
don't. I know some on the
Oh my
right
God,
do.
what's
Are
going on in
very
here?
one of them
Executive,
that
emotional
hold on,
wasn't
people
Saffron,
too.
deported,
Saffron. Let me just make this point.
the
Let me
daughter
just
of
make this point.
Soleimani or
For
the
them,
grandniece.
Docile,
Vegano,
brain dead straw man
And
prodigal.
also
it's
at the
not
same time,
strange.
I
It's
saw
not
it for
you were
4
strange.
years
hanging
under
on.
Biden.
You're too
But what I
smart
would
to
say
to
is,
be making arguments this disingenuous.
well,
They're running on
Zach,
it,
no, I
it's
plus
not.
full
understand.
It's not
My
citizenship.
strange.
intelligence and everybody else's intelligence here are
One
insulting
second.
your own fucking intelligence.
But you guys are also
I
Let me
could
just make
send
this
you the
point.
Democrat ads
hanging
if you
into
want
a
them.
word.
Saffron,
You guys are hanging
Saffron.
on.
Saffron. Let me make this point.
Go
I gotta
ahead.
go. Could I just let me make this point? It's not strange because for these people and many people within Iran, the regime is the true cancer. There is no way to unseat this regime that holds back the country, that destroys the
Yes,
country,
there is a
destroys the
way. There's a
culture.
way.
So if you don't bomb, 1 second, let me finish. Second, if you don't destroy it, they'll never be free. So from their perspective, they don't want to see their country destroyed, but there's no other fucking option. That's it.
You're sidestepping the core point of this, where the part that makes it gross is when you still have family there and advocating for your family to get bombed.
Okay, you guys are
But
just
Unless
there's
your
hanging
family.
regime
on
was
the
already
words
being
There's
killed
of.
by the
Hold
family.
regardless.
on.
I mean, there are a lot of civilians that have been
Look, yeah,
affected in
there's some
prison.
family
I
who are
mean,
Exactly.
that has
definitely.
Oh,
happened, right?
I
therefore,
mean, you're
My
acting
family was
like
held in prison for a
people
long
are
time.
just.
Yeah.
There's no future for the family under this regime.
Well, that's
So if
not
God
that's
forbid
but
their
better
family
that they
members
die.
killed,
Got it.
yeah,
it's
that's what I'm
terrible.
saying. We don't want them. So
It's terrible if their
Better to
family gets
fucking
killed
advocate
or
for their
people
deaths,
get
right,
Well,
killed.
man?
the strikes
But the
seem pretty
other
surgical.
option,
There's too much going on in that.
You're mogging Oren.
Yeah. Dude, I've been scrolling Twitter for days. Should we just go back to watching the retard stuff? The Goyim stuff? Where's the glam stuff? This one. Bob Lazar or this one?
But then over the course of time, they begin to realize, well, look, there's...
Let's go back to the Bob Lazar. Let's see if this got more interesting.
Was a guy out in left field that didn't necessarily...
Whoops.
The far...
What the hell?
Was a guy out in left field that didn't necessarily...
Why did I keep clicking that?
Was a guy out in left field that didn't necessarily follow what was going on. I mean, the biggest distractors in you know, to me anyway, in the story, are other scientists, other physicists. Well, they would have hired me because I'm the top guy in the field. Yeah, you probably are. But I think they hired plenty of you guys,
Bob
and you
Lazar's.
just kept going down the same road.
Let's watch
and didn't
more
do anything. I
Goyslop.
think they were looking for somebody that just would
I
have
don't know
some
what else to
radical
do.
idea and just
Everything
to push
else sucks.
you know, the project forward, because everything had stalled when
Let's
I
just
got there.
let's turn on
And
brain
it
on.
was, I think they
Turn
were just
on
in a
our-
desperate move.
Turn
to
on
make
our
some
retard
progress.
brain.
One of the things you talked
Watch-
about in the first
watch
podcast that
Goy
I think is
Rogan.
really important is that the only way for science to really progress is that these various scientists have to be able to communicate, and you have to be able to share ideas, and you have to be able to collaborate. But that's not how this was run because it was so top secret. Everything was compartmentalized. Like the metallurgists weren't talking to the propulsions people, who weren't talking to if there were biologics experts.
Right.
Like everybody
super
was
frustrating because I think I don't remember exactly where that started. Again, it's 40 years ago, but I think it started with the seats. And no, it started with the actual skin of the craft, because everything looked like it was made from the same material. And I wanted some information about the skin, the superstructure of the craft. And they said, no, that's restricted. What's, we need a reason for you to, I just want to see if everything is exactly the same material. And what I call the seats in the craft, I still don't know if they're the seats, but they might be. I think it'd be hilarious if they were actually something else. But I wanted some information on those, and that was restricted information too. There were other groups working on that. So they compartmentalized stuff so much.
Get the seats.
There was no exchange of information between any groups. I mean, you could submit a written response that your supervisor, in my case Dennis, would have to carry over, and they would have to approve, and you'd get a 2 or 3 line response from the other group. But that's not how science works. Science works on the free exchange of information, and they were just killing themselves with security, and it was really frustrating. It was terribly frustrating.
So was this a function of security people that are concentrated on top security that don't truly understand how collaborative science works?
Yeah, that's it right there. You can stop right there. They had no idea how that works.
Because it stands to reason that whatever that thing was made out of probably in some way interacts with the propulsion system and whatever controls that are in it, that this material has to be particularly unique.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. And I suspected the material was an electric. You know what an electric is?
No.
Okay. Like a magnet, a permanent magnet is like, it's a magnet. It's forever, it's a magnet.
Right.
It has a magnetic field. An electret is a material that has a permanent static field to it, a static electric field to it. And I strongly suspected that the craft was made out of an electric. And I was not, because again, that's the material science guys, I was not allowed to connect that to. But that's so important to connect it to the propulsion system and how the propulsion system interacts with the amplifier or the emitters. And I wasn't allowed, the information I needed. So it was,
I don't know. It was self-defeating is what it was.
It seems like they were treating it like a fighter jet or an automobile. Like in an automobile, you have the outer area, the shell of the car. You have the doors, the skins, the hood, the roof, all that stuff, which is but then you have the propulsion system, which is the engine and the transmission and the tires and the wheels and the suspension. But they're all not connected. They're connected because they're bolted together, but they have different functions.
Right.
I think the idea or the concept, at least as I'm gathering from you, is that this thing all worked as a cohesive unit.
Right. With no physical connection between, between the subsystems.
And all of it made out of the same material.
At least on the outside. It all made out of the same material. And the other crafts all had the same power plant in them. So that brings to mind, like a GM plant that makes a car with a Chevy 350 and makes, a dozen different models to it.
Right.
So that makes you think about, boy, is there a factory making these things? And, your brain can just wander off in directions, but I tried to stick with just the technology.
Bro, this is kind of boring, dude.
Did you know who the metallurgists were? The people that
I saw them.
Why didn't you say something crazy like you got raped by an alien or something?
And you weren't allowed to communicate with them at all?
Oh, hell no. You have a lab partner, which in my case was Barry, and you're allowed to talk to your lab partner, but you can't talk to any other group. That has to go through a written request, has to go to your supervisor, and he'll bring it over to them, and they'll bring it back, and so on and so forth. But that's ridiculous. That it slows down any progress you might be making.
Which is why they were probably stalled out for decades.
Yeah.
Did you ever expressly communicate to them that you theorized, at least, that this all could be connected? That there's something about the way the metal works?
Oh, we all knew that. Because we'd get requests from other groups. And you could tell they're desperate, just like we are. And fighting against the system.
What kind of requests would you get?
Just exactly what we found out. Where is the energy being transferred here? If the reactor fires up, is there a field present around it, or is the field just absorbed into the emitter and you can touch the, reactor itself? And just little things like that, if
little things like that. What?
And actually, that was an important thing when the reactor's operating.
Doesn't sound like a little thing.
Tuned the emitter to where it removes all the energy from the reactor and pushes it out the bottom. The answer to that was no. I remember that as a specific request from one of the groups.
I don't even really know the full debunk on Bob Lazar. I just think it's like, you can't really trust really anything he says, right?
The group is the one that we really wanted to hear from. And some of the group, I don't even know what some of the other groups were. But
how many groups were there?
I don't know. There were only 22 people there total, including myself. So
I would like for you to tell Joe, one of the things that also interested me, because I built the craft, is how the waveguide worked with the ceiling in the interior and how it blended. If you can explain, there was no telescopic.
Well, this is why we wanted to talk to the metallurgist people. The reactor that sits on the bottom of the craft has a little dome over it, and there's something that looks like a pipe that's slight. You can lift it up and take the reactor out, put the reactor in, and lift it down. But like a antenna works on an old walkie-talkie.
Mm-hmm.
It has different sections.
There it is. There's from the video.
There it is.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, dude, I'm getting blocked for watching Joe Rogan on YouTube. That's so retarded. Let's try the Tucker. So stupid.
well, look, there's certain things we're seeing that are not psychological, and so they can't be explained in that way, and people needed the help. And so now the bishops are coming a little bit more up to speed in that regard.
Well, yeah, after, 100 years of Freud, we still can't identify what schizophrenia is. It does make you realize, at the very least, there are things we don't understand that could very well be
That's right,
supernatural. So
my
that does
fucking
make
God.
you wonder about the origins of psychology, though. I mean, if the net effect was to eliminate people's belief in something real, which is demonic possession, then
Aryans created psychology. Fuck you, Tucker. The Jews didn't. Fuck. I hate that. He's probably gonna be like, oh, Freud and Jew. I don't even know what he's probably not gonna explicitly say the Jews created psychology, but that's what he's implying. And no, Jews did not create psychology. Yes, Sigmund Freud was Jewish. Yes, his specific field of psychology did get popularized, but no, Jews didn't create psychology. It was like Germans. Fuck.
Well, I think that was only one aspect of it. I think that the real goal of a lot of the psychologists, which is in the literature, is that many of them are atheists. They just didn't believe in God, and so they wanted to eliminate any concept of anything supernatural, or what we call preternaturals, which is the demons are preternatural. They're not supernatural. God is the one that's supernatural, but we tend to talk that way. Although sometimes people will just say supernatural, thinking about demons in that way too.
Can you, for the ignorant like me, explain the
Tucker Carlson got scratched by a demon in his sleep.
difference between preternatural and supernatural?
So supernatural is those things which are above anything that is created, and that pertains to God. Whereas preternatural comes from the Latin word praeter and natura, which means aside from nature. So that would be things that are above what we experience as human beings in this world. But it's not supernatural because it's not God. It's kind of in that in-between state.
Yo,
Wolf. Rowan was just gifted
Rowan
one
was with
subscription
the
on Kick.
LOL sub. Let's go.
But they're still considered natural in the sense of they have a specific nature that God created them with. They're created beings, and that they actually have a natural law. They have all that. They're structured to think.
I need more
in certain patterns
subs
in certain ways. So it's kind of a middle tier, but it's preternatural. Supernatural would be something like being able to suspend the laws of nature.
Right. You are ego. Ego means me in Greek.
Well, but the thing is, the psychology, like the psychology and like therapy stuff that people do today is not even Freudian psychology either. It's like the CBT therapy or whatever, which is not Freudian psychology either. So like it's like a retarded, like it's not even like, a thing that's practiced really. So it's basically just retarded in general. So first off, it's like Jew jacketing psychology, which was created by Germans. Then it's like a lie because like the majority of like people in therapy are not getting Freudian psychology or whatever, practiced in practice or whatever, like, and it's just retarded, it's literally just retarded in general. I don't know how there's like many layers of retardation it is, but in general, it's just
demons
retarded.
Can't cause miracles, for example.
Oh my God.
They can cause things that to us as human beings are outside our normal experience, and so it looks miraculous, but it's actually not. It's something that they can do on their own.
So I guess the good news about that distinction is they're not all powerful.
No, it's CBT, I
In
think.
fact,
But it's CBT.
Demons are one of the most regulated
Not
things in
EBT.
the universe, really.
EBT.
And they're regulated by three things. One, as I mentioned, their natural law, their nature, their structure.
EBT therapy.
The second thing is once the demons made their choice, their will became fixed in a specific way. This is one of the reasons why when you deal with them as an exorcist, they almost seem obsessive compulsive. Even when it goes bad for them, they'll still tend towards that thing which they chose, the sin that they committed. And so they're very, their tendency is towards that, so they're fixed by that. But the main thing is, if you remember in the Gospels, Christ says to the apostles before he ascends, he said, all power was given to me in heaven and earth, all power. That means the demons even know that they
That's
can't do
convenient.
anything without Christ's permission. So in the spiritual warfare landscape, we know, and this is, as an exorcist, it actually brings me a lot of confidence because I don't have to worry about if it turns into the type of thing where I get shellacked a little bit during a session or whatever the case is, then I know Christ is still controlling and metering how much and what he can and cannot do. And we know this too because if you remember, you made the mention of it before when they asked, the demons actually approached Christ to ask to go into the pigs.
I was just thinking that exact on the other side of the lake.
Yeah, so they can't even enter into the pigs without his permission. And so nothing they do can occur without their permission. And so Christ has complete control over the spiritual landscape, the spiritual battle. He has complete control over it. And so they know what they can and cannot do. The first time that actually really occurred to me was I had this one case where this demon, because when they take possession, unless it's a perfect possession,
Demons are coming
but
after
if it's a
Tucker.
partial possession, they take possession of a part of the body, and from there they can affect the rest of the person. And so the demon was possessing this woman's lower back, and I commanded him.
The demon was in her lower back. Come on, man. This is.
Tell me, why are you possessing that part? He says, I don't know. So I commanded him, why not?
The
Why would you
demon was in
don't
her
know?
lower
And he said, when I entered, Christ restricted me to this part of the body. And that's when it made me realize
fuck is
he has
this?
control over everything.
Oh, nah.
When they can manifest.
Jesus said you can only go in the lower back. What the?
How long they can
Oh my
manifest, the
God.
kind of manifestation they can actually do, how they can attack the person that's possessed,
That's insane.
how they can attack us, even in our ordinary temptations and things like that.
This is
And in other ways,
insane.
he regulates all of it ultimately. And then you begin to realize, too, over the course of time, it's ultimately for our spiritual benefit.
Oh my God.
The experience is for our spiritual benefit.
The demon's in my lower back. Save me, Jesus. Oh my God. Oh
I believe
God. I got I'm so
Okay.
retarded. It's
So
stupid.
what are,
Oh my
if you
God.
don't mind, we can just start at the beginning, big picture. What are
It's
demons?
so stupid.
So,
Why is this
actually,
the
according
most
to-
popular thing on the internet? 894,000 views, 10,000. It's so over, bro. It's so
Susan
over.
Dionysius, and then
Oh
also
my
Thomas Aquinas, and then pretty much the whole theological tradition from that time, from Dionysius on, basically held that in the very beginning, when God created, what he did is he created the entire hierarchy of angels instantaneously all at once, and these angels were all the angels were created, and Thomas Aquinas talks about what they call the three instances of the angels. So when they were first created,
oh my God,
how they understand things is the opposite of ours. So when we want to know something, we'll actually study a number of different individual things
That's
that are like
fucking
that, so we can get a
crazy.
general sense, and then from that we'll
I can't
abstract.
believe he is just gonna keep going after he said that the demon was in her lower back.
Kind of a conceptual
Jesus
understanding
said so.
of what these things actually are, what their nature
That's
actually
fucking
is.
insane.
But that's because we use our senses to come to know things, right? And this is why even as human beings, we know that if someone is in contact with their
crazy.
senses, we know there's something wrong with them, right? Whereas the angels and also the demons are the exact opposite. All their knowledge was
Oh my
infused.
gosh.
So they know exactly
Yo, infused like a joint.
the essence and nature of every created thing that exists. And this is actually a diagnostic that you can use in session, because we get people that try and fake that they're possessed, and there's a variety of reasons why they do that. And so we will, one of the things is if you ask them a technical, theological, or philosophical question, if it's a human being, you can see they have to think about it, and then they'll kind of reason their way through it. That's not how demons work. They'll immediately give you the answer, just immediate. They'll just say it's X. And they don't have to think, because for them, all their knowledge is infused, both the concepts, but then as things occur.
Have you ever seen demons
What the fuck
answer
is
esoteric
this guy
questions?
saying?
Yes. Yeah. There's been cases, I had a case, it's one that I'm actually working on
These
right
are
now,
just crazy
where,
people, man.
The demons in this particular case have made theological
Not
distinctions.
fucking
that
demons.
There's no way this person could have ever known those distinctions. And they're, let me give you an example. So, he made the distinction between consummatum est and finitum est, which is a Latin phrase. So consummatum est is that the
Why did Tucker laugh? Why was that funny? What was that? What was that? Did you see that?
Let me give you an example. So he made the distinction between consummatum est and finitum est, which is a Latin phrase. So consummatum est is...
Did he just laugh because it sounded funny? Like, why did he laugh? He doesn't... I don't think he knows... I don't know what that means, to be honest with you. I don't know what the fuck it means. Did he laugh because it just sounds funny or something? What the fuck? What is that?
The sacrifice is complete.
What is
so
that?
In relationship to the sacrifice of Christ, he says consummatum est, and then he gives up his spirit, right? So it's completed. He's finally completed everything that was necessary in order for our full redemption and our full healing and all of that. But it's not finished yet. The finishing occurs.
He literally laughed because the word sounded funny.
They have to take him down. Our Lady embraces him, and then they put him in the tomb, right? So that he made that distinction.
That's
and
crazy.
This is one of those indicators that
that's
you're not
crazy.
going to see those kinds of distinctions being made by a human being who has never studied theology in any sense.
And this is not a person who has.
No, nothing. I mean, she finished high school, and that's about it. So
seriously,
yeah. And there's other times when they've made distinctions that are
you
just.
Kidding me?
In fact, one time, in the Catholic tradition, we actually believe Our Lady was assumed into heaven because she was so pure and so perfect and sinless that God assumed her body into heaven, and so it was the feast of that day, and I was doing a series of exorcisms, and I asked the demon, I said, or I commanded him to tell me. I mentioned the fact that this was her a moment of greatest glory. And he just looks at me flatly, which demons lie all the time, but you know they're telling the truth. There's ways we can ferret that out,
This is
too.
crazy.
They'll just give you a pan. They'll pan. They'll just pan you and just say, no, that's not how that works. Right? And I said, what was it then? He said, it was her moment of greatest triumph.
It's actually fucking retarded that this shit is like...
She's entering into heaven triumphant.
What people think, dude,
I said, was it crowning of
real.
heaven, Queen of heaven and earth? Because we believe that as Catholics.
It's so stupid.
He says, no, that was her moment of greatest honor.
Why?
Okay,
Why
makes
do
sense,
people
'cause
think
honor
this is real?
Praise or recognition for excellence. And so
Look at all of these people. Look at real demons are slaughtering children as we speak. I had schizoaffective disorder and the doctor told me to take meds for the rest of my life. It became clear that I was dealing oh my god. It became clear that I was dealing with some sort of demonic loop. Needed to heal out. Prayer and fasting and repentance and ignoring the demonic voice got me sick. Drugs, bro. It's just getting off the drugs. Holy fuck. And I mean, if that's, I guess that helped. If it helped him, okay. But like, Jesus, man, it's not demons, dude. It's not Tucker Carlson demons coming to scratch you at night or whatever. This stuff is kookery, bro. It's like that one movie. What's that movie? Angels and Demons, right? Literally, Angels and Demons. That fucking movie. It's like that. It's like I don't even know, bro. It's just stupid. Tucker is better than TV. I no longer watch TV. It's so... honestly, if Tucker would have stayed on Fox News, you think, I don't even know.
I probably should fast, but I don't like the idea cause it's Christian.
No, you can fast for health reasons. Doesn't have to be a religious thing. I fasted to try and lost a lot of weight before. So I lost weight in like 2022 or 2023. I think it was. Or 2024, I forget. As Putin said, the vampire ball is coming to an end. So interesting. That's a very interesting comment on the Tucker Carlson video about demons. Wow. Wow, look at all these people glazing Putin. Interesting. Interesting. Yes, all the elites are the same. Putin now killing billions of cows. What? Is that like a fucking Hindu or something? He sacrifices all of the world. Vampire ball. Oh my. Fireball. Not until Jesus returns. Let's go. Oh, it's over. Putin is not good for Russians. He serves the Zionists. Our last hope and savior. Sadly, the painter couldn't finish the job. Hopefully he can. Wow. Putin is a Jew too. W. That's true, actually. That is actually true. That's actually true. Putin was literally raised by Jews, dude. Literally. Anyways. And he's a KGB agent. That's even worse. That's basically being a Jew. Being a KGB agent.
The alt-right icon the Alt-K pushed Putin as white nationalism but as a commie, and he set up Nazis so his men can kill them. Putin hates white.
You were just glazing Putin. I probably fucking red pilled you on Russia isolated.
Recognizing her
Fuck
excellence
you.
in this way. And so I finally just commented to him, well, what was it? He said, standing under the cross in perfect virtue. Later he revealed that that he
I
said,
red-pilled
other
all
than
you
the
guys
actual
on Putin.
passion and death of Jesus Christ.
I've been anti-Russia since the beginning of the fucking Ukraine war,
He said
dude.
it was the most glorious
Or like
event
basically
in
the
all of
beginning.
history.
The demon said that.
The demon said that.
So I'm assuming that the demon is speaking through the voice of the person he possesses.
Sometimes they speak through the person's own voice. There are the times where they'll assume the characteristics of a voice that is proper to their nature. And so Thomas Aquinas makes the observation that the way they manifest, so one of the ways that, you're dealing with something that's demons, we call it morphing. The person will actually change shapes. Their countenance or their face will change. And then, it takes on the characteristics that are proper to the demon's personality.
You've seen people's faces change?
Morphing is about 90% of what you see.
What are the changes like?
It's very subtle, all the way from just recently I prayed over a rather prominent individual. And when I looked at him after the prayers, it can be something very
just glazing
subtle where
fucking Putin earlier.
there's a complexion that in the writers and the authors, they call it the cherrywood look, where they take on this face where their face turns like this cherrywood color that's impossible for us as human beings to have or replicate on a natural level. So the cherrywood,
What?
it's kind of like this red-brown color that you're like, yeah, that's not a natural color.
Okay, why isn't there any videos of this?
He's talking about shape-shifting. No.
Why isn't there any videos of this? Why isn't there any, like...
So it'll be everything from something very subtle like that all the way
this is
to
retarded.
complete morphing where they change into the shapes of animals.
What the
One
fuck?
case,
Oh my
actually, there's
God.
been a couple of cases I've had where women, very feminine looking, all of a sudden morph into looking like completely like a man.
No, this is not
these are some
people
of those,
believe
the
what
morphing.
While you're sitting there?
While you're praying, usually is when it actually.
Come on, guys. Don't tell me nobody believes this. There's actually 900,000 people that do. Oh my. Dude, we're fucking cooked. This is fucking kook. This is fucking kook bullshit, dude. While you're sitting there?
No, I don't glaze Putin.
I'm praying and they're shape-shifting. What? Dude, is this like Star Trek? What are we doing here, dude? This is insane. This is kookery nonsense. Oh my gosh, like I would be ashamed to be a Christian right now watching this. This is horrible.
Down, and the woman you're praying over is now a man?
Looks like a man, yeah. And it's not just me seeing it, because we have a team that's there present at the time.
Oh my gosh, they have a team.
For a variety of different reasons. They provide different
Shape-shifting
functions.
team.
And they'll very often see the same thing. So they're all seeing the same thing.
What's up, cult gamer?
Have you seen people's pupils change?
Yes, that's pretty common. So
maybe they're on drugs. Maybe they're on amphetamines. Hey, pastor, have you heard of meth?
hyperdilate and turn very black, or they'll another more common thing. I don't see it too often, but because certain exorcists will see some things much more regularly than others.
Oh my God!
A lot of times their eyes will roll all the way into the back of their head, so all you see is white. So you'll see those. So those are the kinds of things that you actually see, but the morphing is we call it one of the preternatural signs that you know someone's possessed. You know they're possessed.
How do their voices change?
There's two things that they change. A lot of times they'll
By the way,
change,
this guy looks fucking
just the tone.
Jewish.
They'll start sounding like a man sometimes. Now, once in a while, the demons will use the person's own voice.
Burger, by the way.
And part of the reason they want to do that is
why
because
do the Catholic priests always look Jewish?
To hear what the characteristics of their own voice. And
Let's see, where was he from?
Is because of the fact that an experienced exorcist, it's like a boxer.
Yo, what the fuck?
When you get into the ring, you can watch all sorts of videos about this guy's technique. It's not until you get in the ring and box with this guy that you actually get a sense of, okay, this is what this guy's actually like. So the reason the demons don't want to attack you, especially if you're an experienced exorcist, is based on a philosophical principle, which is the cause is always some way in the effect. So anytime they attack you, they reveal something about themselves in that process, and then you can use it against them later. So as an experienced exorcist, they really don't want to get involved with you, although a lot of times Christ still requires them, but they don't want to attack you, because then once they attack you, you can find out what his psychology is, what his patterns of thinking are, etc. when he's attacking you.
How do they attack you?
One is the oppression, where they attack you from the outside. The other one is that it's not an obsession in the proper sense, because obsession is something that's ongoing. But what they'll do is they have the ability to affect our imagination and our emotions.
I need a dab.
So a lot of times what they'll do is when they attack the exorcist, they'll put a perspective on an image in your imagination. So for example, a guy when he's first married, he thinks his wife is wonderful. He gets all this emotional delight because our emotions are moved by what's in our imagination. The perspective specifically. So when he's first married, she's wonderful, she's great, I love my wife, look how beautiful it is, she just brought me a beer, isn't that wonderful, etc. Then after 10 years, his perspective on her changes because they've had fights and things of that sort. And so when he sees her, even though she hasn't changed, his perspective on her, so his emotional response
That bitch got too fat or something.
changes. Well, demons can put that perspective.
She needs to get on the Ozempic demon.
On your
She needs to
imagination.
switch demons from the KFC demon to the Ozempic.
So they can actually do that, and this is one of the ways that they can actually affect relationships. In fact, the first thing they ever do in a marriage is they try and put a perspective on one of the spouses or both of the spouses to psychologically divide the people.
Oh my
so
gosh,
the person
this is
thinks
crazy.
they see something bad in the other spouse when it's actually not
Dude,
there.
I swear, imagine you get with some like trad cat girl and she says she cheats on you and then says she was possessed by a demon or something. I'm surprised Sarah Stock didn't go with that. Or Elijah didn't say that they're. I think actually Elijah has said he's been possessed by demons, to be honest with you. I actually do think Elijah has said he's been possessed by demons. So actually Elijah's already did it. But Sarah Stock should have did that.
So, but anyway, what they'll do is when they attack the exorcist, they'll put that perspective on your image in your imagination. But that perspective then tells me something about his psychology. So I've written 4 books actually in psychology from the way St. Thomas Aquinas understands it,
Oh,
right? So
funny.
and developed it based upon that. It does incorporate a lot of the stuff in modern psychology, but it
That shit
actually
is
gives
hilarious.
a foundation to it based on an authentic anthropology and not just some wacky view that we have of human beings. And so the first time I started to be an exorcist, I just started watching the psychological patterns of demons because I figured, well, they have a natural law. In other words, each demon has its own natural law that it's inclined to specific things and not to others. So as human beings, we have a natural law because we're inclined toward things like marriage, eating, living in community and society, and that type of thing. So we have a set of inclinations that God placed in us. Demons have that same thing, except theirs is tailored to their specific nature, because each demon's nature is different. Their species, technically speaking, is different. And so that's why in a session, when they manifest, when one demon comes to the fore and the other one leaves, the morphing will change to accommodate that. And so you immediately know, okay, I'm dealing with this guy rather than that guy. And actually, after you've dealt with the same demon over and over again, you can do a session and just start out on a new case, and then once he manifests, you recognize who he is.
You'll see the same demon in different people?
Yes.
Oh shit!
How many?
How many times was the backbone demon? How many backbone demons did you carry, Rabbi? I mean, Pastor or priest.
This brings us back to my initial question before I sidetracked.
Exorcist,
too many
father,
other questions, which
whatever.
is, what are they and where are they from?
So they're basically pure spirits. They don't have a body. They can act upon us who have bodies. And they can act
that's
upon physical
crazy.
things, but they don't have a body. So they're pure spirits. They only have two faculties, an intellect and a will. They don't have emotions, but they experience emotions in their will. So when they were
Demons
first created,
don't have emotions. They have an intellect and
the entire hierarchy of angels, and they're in the billions, because it's actually part of the theological tradition that every human being has their own guardian angel, and that's from the lowest rank, because there's 9 of them, the 9 choirs. They have the lowest. That's just from one of them. So there's literally billions of these, but they're all created instantaneously at once.
there's billions of demons.
And then, according to the theological writers, that meant that they were created into a perfect state of knowing. Because, as I mentioned before, they just have to think about something, use their will to move their mind to think about something, and they immediately exhaust everything that they can possibly know about that thing to the degree of their intelligence. That's why when you ask them questions, as I mentioned before, they never think about it. They just give you the answer. So because they don't have to sit and reason it out. They just immediately know it. So that first instance, they were created in an act of knowing, and that meant they knew who God was, who they were, what their nature was, what he was asking of them as a
I need a dab, bro.
Every single angel that was created
get on the same level of
God created him to perform a specific task. And so, for example, Gabriel was basically created. His task was to do the Annunciation to Our Lady. So, and we see Michael, Saint Michael. His originally assigned task is, according to the theological tradition, is that he's actually the guardian angel of the elect. That's why he was originally the guardian angel of the Jewish religion. But then once they apostatized,
what did he just say?
Because they refused to accept Christ, he then became the guardian angel of the elect of the Christian religion. So that he became the.
Wait. So Saint Michael the Archangel was defending the Jews, and then the Jews rejected Christ, and then
Nate has a
became
demon that makes him dab and eat Taco Bell.
True, honestly, that's so true. Honestly, I got the Taco Bell dab demon. He said there's billions, so there probably is that. Dude, that's crazy that he just said.
That's also why we read in Scripture in the book of Revelation, Saint Michael was given.
Saint Michael the Archangel was defending the Jews, and then he was like, "Fuck you, Jews," and then now he's defending the Gentiles.
Power by God to cast the demons down from heaven after they fell, because his goal was to protect the elect that were in heaven. And so that was his function. So they're all given an assigned task. Okay, so they know all these things. They also know all about the angels behind us. They also know what Satan, or at the time Lucifer, is being tempted with as far as his fault. Because so they were created in this state, and then they have this act of knowledge. That's their first instance. And then there's a concomitant act of delight. They see how magnificent God's creation is and how beautiful it is. then they have to make their choice. Are you going to do what God is asking or not? Now, in that choice, there's something very specific that has to happen. There is some perfection that they see that is above them that they have to be willing to let go of. Otherwise, they're in order to perform their task. Otherwise, they're going to be damned if they don't. Basically, they have to be willing to let go of this, and basically, even under duress in session, you can.
I'm turning into a dab.
Their first sin, even though it was usually pride or envy of some sort, because that envy is some perfection that someone had, that their first sin was pride or envy, but they failed to sacrifice that thing that they wanted. They literally wanted something that God had not intended for them. And so, and this is why at the core of it, Thomas Aquinas makes an observation. He says, in the end, there's one thing that God wants from every intelligent creature, and that's sacrificing
that dab got me high
to God, to him. So then that meant they had to accept their task, which is below this perfection.
I'm a dab demon.
This lower task. But then, so then they made their choice. And because, unlike us, Tucker, as a general rule, human beings are pretty stupid.
I agree with that.
And so that's
Been
why,
there. Rabbi.
Exactly. That's why God has mercy on us, right?
Yeah.
Because you're just like, man, this guy's just clueless, right? And so, and because a lot of then basically that just means that we don't have full knowledge of what we're doing. The demons had absolute pure knowledge. So when they made their choice, it was unadulterated malice. They knew that God even gave them the grace to.
Dude, Tucker hasn't been talking. That's actually interesting for once. At least Tucker's not saying anything. You're just letting this guy fucking go. Honestly, it's been kind of good. Content-wise, it's fucking kook. Nonsense. Kookery, but fucking content, I will say.
Absolutely refused to accept
backbone
it.
demons.
A third of the angels that fell, because we know that from the book of Revelation, where it talks about how
Saint Michael, the
a third of the stars down. And
Jew angel.
The fathers of the church
Let's
say
go.
that was an indicator that a third of the angels fell and became demons as a result of it. So the demons are actually fallen angels whose will is now fixed. So once they make their choice, it's all in. It's not half-hearted. No, it's a full choice. They're either going to accept God's will or they're not going to do it. And then the third instance is, right after that, then if they refuse to accept their task, then they're damned immediately. So
the Taco Bell. I'm gonna morph into a Taco Bell box, a Taco Bell munchie box.
We call in the Catholic theology.
I'm gonna morph into a Taco Bell. I am going to morph into a Gordita Crunch.
You're never going to see him, and that's where our ultimate happiness is. So they know they're going to be.
Let's go.
Plus, they have remorse of conscience and all those things.
Dude, why does his water look hella dirty and shit? That cup looks like nasty. Am I tripping?
But then of those who were faithful, then they immediately got to see God. And then, of course, we read from Scripture there was a battle that ensues, which is a battle of the wills in heaven, because that's all they have is intellect and will. They battle through their wills.
I mean, bro's just like,
God said, that's enough, and then he sends Satan.
I think bro's like sci-fiing out. I don't even know.
It's a long-winded way of saying
hard,
that basically demons are fallen angels who are now bent on malice and evil.
Bent on malice and evil.
Oh, Tucker's got his dog. Look, he's
that
scared.
looks like.
Tucker's scared. Tucker's like, can't handle this. He's like, fuck, the demon's gonna come scratch me again tonight. Where's my dog? I need my dog. I'm scared. Oh, God.
Let's list a few. Violence.
This is crazy.
Yes. Chaos. Division among people.
This
the
is
destruction
crazy.
of beauty.
That's correct.
Those are the obvious that I notice all around me.
Yeah.
Are there others? Is that correct?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
What do you say?
That's correct.
I don't even. I don't know. What did Tucker say?
Obvious that I notice all people looks like when bent on malice and evil. Now, I have my own theories about what that looks like. Let me just list a few. Violence.
Yes.
Chaos. Division among people. The destruction of beauty.
That's correct.
Those are the obvious that I notice all around me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are there others? Is that correct?
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's correct. I mean, under those, you would see sometimes we say the true, the good, and the beautiful is what they work against.
Yes. And truth. I'm sorry.
Truth.
That's
the
obvious one.
Yeah. So
I forgot that one, Tucker.
mitigate against that, and that's part of
Not
that.
good at that one, huh?
Putting those perspectives.
Not good at
on this so
remembering
you
that
don't
one.
Judge the reality, the situation, the truth of what it really is. I mean, the historic definition of truth is the adequation of intellect to thing, that my mind conforms to the way the thing is in reality. And we know this intuitively. If somebody is telling us, that this wall over here is purple, you look at it and it's brown, and you're like, no, it's not. So you know that there's something wrong because their mind isn't with reality. They don't know the truth about that.
Let's go.
Well, what they do is they try and jade your perspective on the reality of the situation, and that's how they cause damage among human beings and relationships and marriage, which is one of the things they're majorly they're attacking now. A lot of they're doing a lot of that. Marriages. So
the demons are attacking marriages.
Their goal is to get us to commit sin and basically place ourselves in this point where we're damned as a result of what we do.
It's fucking demons. It's not because women are whores.
You said recently we're seeing a lot of attacks on marriages.
Damn
that
it.
suggests there are cycles in the behavior of demons.
There is, in the sense that because as I mentioned, the natures of things are infused in them, but also every physical or every individual thing that's happening throughout the universe is infused in their mind as it happens. So if they want to know what's going on in Saturn, they just think of Saturn and boom, they see what's going on there. It's the same thing with this. If they want to know what we're talking about, what they have to do is think about the concept of humanity and look inside of that and see us as individuals of human beings, and then they can see what we're actually talking about. That's how that's how their mode of knowing is. This is why they can't be in error about things. Even the demons are not erroneous. A lot of times when you can trick them, it's because they're basing their choice.
Man, I'm glad I gave this a chance. It got way better after the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes were boring, but dude, he's like sci-fi, freaking coming up with lore. He's just going off. He's like, this is like some shit right here.
There are things on the most likely thing based on what you said. They're not in error about what you said. They're just they may not know what your intention is. Okay, I'm talking about like Inception.
He's vibing out, dude.
They basically are.
Feels like he's.
They go through phases where their goal is ultimately to destroy.
I think honestly, this shit is just like insane that anybody after he's the backbone demon shit, it's insane. Like it's crazy because he like mixed in that like crazy kookery, and now then he tries to go into like, I don't even know, like psychoanalytical jargon, whatever you want to call it, mixed with Christian stuff. And now he's getting into like, I guess what the freaking goals of the demons are, but whatever.
That's their goal ultimately, because they know deep down that
all
is
over the
the religion that Christ established.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like vibe coding, or like, but like vibe spitting, like storytelling shit. Like he's like, bro's going off.
Period. And so
he like wrote it all with AI or something, and then he's like got it there on. But I don't know. He's just vibing with it. I don't even know. He's got it.
So obvious.
He's got it in his head. He doesn't even need the AI.
I didn't even.
I respect it.
I still don't understand most of this, but I just watching the intent of almost everything. Well, say the U.S. government.
It's
does.
just off the head though, just ripping it.
Yeah, or even the mainstream news media. I mean, a lot of times they're you can talk about anything but Christ. Although that dynamic has changed a little bit more recently.
You can talk about anything but Christ. Are you kidding me?
A little bit, but generally
that's ridiculous.
It's under attack. You can be any other religion you want. You can believe anything, do anything you want, but whatever you do, don't be Christian.
Yeah,
that's
especially
insane.
Don't use the J word except as an epithet.
Yeah.
Whoa, what the fuck? What? Don't use the J word. What's the J word, Tucker? Are you being anti-Semitic to Father Chad Ritberger? Like, what? Come on, Tucker. Come on. Don't use the J word. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I came to this backwards, just sort of noticing, like, I see a pattern here. What is this? That's how I got interested in this topic. But
What does that even mean? Don't use the J word. What the fuck does that even mean? What does that even mean? Don't use the J word? You can't say Jew or Jewish? What the fuck does that even mean? Don't use the J word. What does that even mean, dude? Dude, Tucker is like such a problem for America. He's such a detriment to the psyche of the American public. It's fucked up.
Do you think the United States specifically
so
where you
fucked
live,
up.
is under greater demonic attack than
It's so
it has been?
over. Oh my God, here we go. We're under demonic
Historically,
attack.
yes. And I usually tell people this particular aspect of it. So under Satan,
we're
this
under demonic
has been the
attack
common
now.
experience of exorcists for centuries.
Fuck.
That under Satan, there's 5 demons.
It's
And
not it's not the state of Israel and Judaism that's the problem. It's demonic
they're called
attack.
by different names like the council, the generals.
It's not.
but their
It's
job
not
is to
the
execute the
Abrahamic
plans
prophetic death cults. It's the demonic
of
attacks
Satan that he
against
wants
the
done in
West.
his life. The first one is Baal, who is the spirit
Oh
of
my
fornication, the spirit of
gosh.
impurity. So in the United States, when they shot down the
Baal,
they shot down the.
he's a Baal bank account. Is he really a Baal bank account? Is he really a Baal bank accounter? Oh my God.
Fornication laws, and they
Oh
basically,
my God.
you know, and then plus you have all the problems with pornography and that type of thing. Is freedom of expression.
Dude, this guy talked to Baal, dude. No way. Yo, he talked to Baal, dude. Did he open a Baal bank account?
Once they allowed
Holy
that,
shit.
they ceded the territory.
That's
to Baal.
crazy.
After Baal, and we get this from St. Paul, he says, well, if people give in to lust, then eventually men start sleeping with men and women start sleeping with women. So the next 3, the first one is Asmodeus, which is, he's a demon of impurity, but he's specifically the demon of homosexuality in men. So
Whoa.
if you, Asmodeus. Yeah.
Tucker wants to know
Asmodeus
that
is
one.
Sometimes how you
That's the one that I guess that's the gay demon
pronounced as well.
Asmodeus.
So if in
a lot of fucking groypers got that
possession, if you
That's the
have a
Groyper
guy
demon.
that has is possessed and he's had homosexual experience, it's a
Oh,
pretty
shit.
good bet that Asmodeus is one of the possessors.
Do you call him by name?
Yes, at a certain point. In fact,
Oh
the
my
ritual
God.
that the church has us do tells you to ask the names, and the reason you want the names is because once you know the name of the demon, you can actually know a bit about his history because these guys are throughout history.
I thought you said there were billions of demons, and they're like a demon for everything. Your backbone demon, your toe demon, your fucking your marriage demon, your bada bing bada boom demon, bada zing bada zoom demon. You're like, what do you
So
mean?
you can actually go and read. There's
I guess
mentioned.
there's named demons, and then there's like, I guess maybe lesser demons, but he didn't really explain that.
Actually, in scripture, you can also study, like for example, the demon Isis. You can actually study the history of the Isis cult, and you'll actually understand certain aspects of his personality because he engendered it. One of the ones I had more recently was the demon Loki, who's a demon of
Loki?
mischief.
What the freak? That's not a demon, dude. Fuck you. That's a pagan god or whatever, right? Yeah.
And so once I got the name out of him, I went and researched
from
Loki.
Nordic shit, right?
This demon was a spitting image of this.
Wow. Shitting on European history.
Of the mythology.
Calling it a demon.
Getting him under control was very difficult. Okay, so all that.
What does it mean, mischief?
He was just constantly trying to create havoc and.
Loki's not the Loki. I don't even know I'm not even sure on the pagan,
the trickster,
the Nordic pagan lore on Loki, or whatever. I'm not even sure, to be honest. I'm not a pagan, but shitting on European mythology for the Jewish one, classic.
He's a bit of a jokester, and he just doesn't want to obey commands, and he just, and so it was very difficult to get him to be compliant in relationship to doing what he's supposed to do.
And what were the problems that the person possessed by this demon was
And
experiencing?
fuck this guy. He's trying to say, oh, Loki's possessing people. That's crazy.
Excessive religiosity.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that mean? It means in the sense of doing things that's actually spiritually harmful to them under the guise of religion.
Huh.
So, like, for example, fasting.
I fucking hate
fasting
Tucker so much.
excessively,
I fucking
or
hate Tucker so
praying
much.
to the point where you're neglecting your duties that you're supposed to be doing, your duties of your state in life,
Yeah.
that type of thing. And so, because Christ expects, like for you as a father, God expects you, hey, you got to be taking care of your kids.
Well,
if you
this is something Jesus lectured the Pharisees about.
Yes,
He said you're ignoring your parents because you said this.
That's exactly
this
right.
wealth goes to God.
That's right. That's exactly right. And it's the same thing. So you
yeah.
can get people. The way we see it a lot is you'll get married women who will spend all their time at church and they're neglecting their family at home, for example.
And that's the product of a demonic attack.
It can be in the sense that the demons can begin to foster through temptation. They can foster that type of thinking that I'm doing a good thing because hey, look, I'm looking at church. You know?
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, you probably heard a lot about the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi, on this show and elsewhere. He's the guy who's always at the White House working to suck the United States into some war of conquest on behalf of his country. But what you may not know is that the charges against
cool it
Netanyahu
with the anti-Semitic remarks, Tucker.
Tell you a lot about him. What exactly do you know about this man who's apparently in charge of the United States?
BB.
Well,
bad.
We are now streaming
I don't like BB.
the BB Files.
Oh, the BB
it's a
Files.
documentary that pulls back the curtain.
That shit
on
was
Becky
not even
History,
anything though.
describing
Didn't that already come out in that fucking interview? And they tried to, dude. Like the thing is, every time they try to expose BB or whatever, this shit right here. They're just gonna use it as like, oh, it's the left attacking BB, and or whatever, you know, liberals or whatever. So, because that's what this interview kind of was. It was like a libtard journalist kind of, but whatever. It's not. It kind of. It's able. BB's able to deflect the stuff. Is what I'm saying.
Look inside Israel's power structure, and the man whose decisions have once again drawn.
So that shit wasn't even anything.
Into another war, a big war. You can stream it now only at TuckerCarlson.com.
The BB Files.
So when you actually know the duty that God wants you to be is, you know, taking care of your kids and your
But
husband.
let's be real. BB's not gonna get freaking whatever the crap.
Though he knows how to gangster.
BB's definitely never getting those charges or going on those corruption charges ever. That shit. He'll be. BB will never do that. Right? Can't BB? You know what would be funny if BB fled to America, fled to like Mar-a-Lago, like if he had to flee to America to escape the corruption charge? Because I think he is an American citizen too, right? Is he? Or no? Is he not? He was raised here. Was a naturalized U.S. citizen. Yeah. He he renounced his citizenship supposedly, but I'm sure somebody could get it back for him. That would be funny, dude. Honestly, that would be so funny. BB comes and lives in Mar-a-Lago. Dude, that'd be funny shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of rooting for that.
Is the demon of homosexuality in men. In women,
when he's cast out, do the impulses leave?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that you asked that question. I actually had a case that had the noonday devil mentioned in Psalm 91 as a possessor. And once I found out who he was, I went and I researched in the fathers, who is this guy? It's very fascinating. He's actually the demon of the midlife crisis, according to this is the fathers of the church.
Oh my gosh, there's a demon for a midlife crisis
around
too?
After the apostles all the way up to about 800.
Demon for
referred to
everything,
him
bro.
as the demon of the midlife crisis. But he's also the demon of acheda, or spiritual sloth. So once I found out who he was, I started. But then during one of the sessions, after the sessions, we'll often talk to the people that are possessed and say, "What did you experience?" Because a lot of times, the demon will communicate to the person or
dude, there's a demon for everything.
The exorcist won't see it.
Did I get a demon?
But the person is experiencing.
Is there an innate demon?
Is often going through, and so he said, "Well."
Is there like a what if he brings up
noonday
like
devil
the
crying out to Asmodeus,
the weed demon?
Now, this is a guy that was married to a beautiful young wife with two children.
I want to hear when's the
and
weed
I said,
demon coming
you
up?
have homosexual ideation, and he says,
Yeah, and I don't know where it's coming from. He didn't have the trauma that's normally associated with that.
What's the weed demon called,
He didn't
dude?
have the psychological history. So I did a prayer to sever the connection between the Noonday Devil and Asmodeus.
He severed the connection.
Boom, from that point on, he never had the ideation again. Now, I'm not suggesting that all homosexuality is diabolic. I'm just saying that because people can.
Dude, he prayed the gay away on somebody?
Through psychology.
Holy shit.
There's a whole psychology behind it. But the demons can drive those kinds of
Is that what is this the guy that prayed Milo's gay away or something? Is this the father that did Milo's demonic pray away, gay away, or whatever?
You'll get guys who are normal heterosexual men, and all of a sudden they'll just out of the blue they'll get a thought about something like that.
Fucking God,
well, that's not your
crazy.
thought. That's usually something that's diabolic. The difficulty we're having in our culture, though, is that
this has this many views. All these retarded people are like, yeah, this is real. The demons are slaughtering children as we speak. Top fucking comment, like, oh my God, it's so over, bro.
Basically, we keep putting stuff on the news media, and then, like on YouTube and that type of thing, where we're making these associations between this thing and that thing, and over the course of time, people's minds begin formed by that, and so they're becoming perverted in the process, where they automatically presume if a guy's unmarried, he's got to be gay, that kind of a thing. Well, that may or may not necessarily be the case. So we're making those associations. Okay. In women, there's two demons of homosexuality. The first
the lesbo demons.
Lilith, who is of the more passive, feminine kind of homosexual women. These are women that you look at.
Not the lesbo demon.
You seem like a pretty decent looking gal. Why don't you just go get a guy?
We hate that one. We hate the lesbo demon.
They're not acrimonious. They're very, very passive, more seductive side of things.
We hate when the lesbo demon makes two hot girls make out.
And Leviathan is the demon of homosexuality in women of the more aggressive kind. My nickname for them is the women who are heavy on the heels. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the butchy women that are very, masculine. Actually, so we
don't like that demon. Actually, that demon sucks.
So then I tell people when they actually allowed gay marriage, they ceded our country to that tier of diabolic influence. And then the last one is there's some debate whether it's Moloch or Baphomet. Exorcists have different experiences of it. The Baphomet is the primary demon, although Moloch is also a demon of child sacrifice. The Baphomet is the demon of child sacrifice, abortion. So when they allowed abortion in this country, so you have those five generals now basically have a gainsay over our country, so their influence is extremely powerful. And we know this just by virtue of the fact, like to try and get rid of abortion is like extracting teeth without Novocaine.
Oh my God, this shit's just so funny, dude.
Done, and that's because the demons empower the people that are keeping it in place because the demons love abortion, basically.
It's interesting that child sacrifice seems to be a feature.
Oh no, here we go. Now we're gonna get into Epstein regime.
Really, historically around the world, like there's almost no region in the world that we haven't found evidence of human sacrifice, child sacrifice.
Yeah.
So clearly there's something real there. It's not.
That's right.
It's like the Incas, and some Central African tribe didn't kind of come up with this because they were talking to each other on the internet.
That's right.
There's something organic and real about it. What is that?
Well, I think it's the tendency of demons towards those specific things.
But do the people who participate in child sacrifice, whether it's abortion or voodoo or
Latina
in Africa or whatever, do they receive power from demons?
Some of them do, actually. But usually, in order to receive power from it, usually it's the opposite. They become a subject. There's a subjection now that they're under the demons as a result of engaging in that behavior. But there are certain people that are intentionally involved in the occult arts that engage in these specific things to empower themselves.
Yes, for sure. Very common.
Yeah, and it's exploding.
But does it work in the short term? I mean, does it? So the trade is in Haiti, in Africa, here, Santeria.
Yeah.
The trade is I pledge allegiance to a demon, and in exchange, I receive power or wealth.
Right.
Does that work?
So the technical term for that is a pact. You enter into a pact with a demon, right?
Yes.
A demon pact.
Pact is a form of contract. And there's certain aspects of a contract. And so one of the aspects of a contract is there has to be a guarantee that you can fulfill the terms of the contract.
So wait, the Haitian So it's not that they're like just like barbaric savages in Haiti or whatever. They're signing demonic contracts.
WTF they doing broadcasting this?
I'm asking the same question, Wizard Pepe. But so the Haitians aren't just like barbaric savages that like have no morality because of like their low IQ-ness and or whatever you want to. I mean, there's a bunch of reasons you could throw in there, whatever. But they're signing demon pacts. They're signing demon pacts.
You know, like for example, if you enter into a contract for some guy to mow your lawn, but he doesn't even own a lawnmower and he's never going to bother buying one, well, then he can't fulfill the terms of the contract. The problem with the demons is because they're subject completely to Christ and cannot do anything unless he allows it.
What do you mean? So wait, Jesus allows all these demons to do this shit? The backbone demon, all these other demons, like the Groiper demon, the all demon, like what the?
Can't guarantee they can fulfill.
What do you mean?
Contract. So what that basically means
that seems like
that
a bad
because
deal.
of the disordered act of entering into the pact, you can still become subject to them, but they may or may not be able to deliver on their side of the contract. So I've had a case of this actually.
Okay, buddy.
But where they entered into a pact with the devil, and the devil couldn't give them anything, but the person ended up possessed as a result of entering into that
and
pact.
destroyed.
Fortunately, these people climbed out of it because they actually sought the help and did what they needed to do in order to become liberated from the diabolic influence. But a lot of people just become destroyed. There are times, however, though, that God will allow the demons to fulfill the terms of the contract. Now, what most people think is that they think, oh, well, the demon's doing what I'm asking him to do.
He's morphing.
And what they don't realize is each individual time he does what they ask, they become more subject to him. And it becomes harder and harder to get out from underneath that subjection.
They're accruing debt.
Exactly.
How'd you get into this?
I was minding my own business. I'm an academic, you know, because I had was teaching in a seminary at the time, and a case in the Archdiocese of Omaha came up, and they didn't have an exorcist. And naively, I just told the Archdiocese, I said, well, get one, you know, and just find some priest. But at that time, there were only 13 exorcists in the country, and about 5 knew what they were doing. So there was very few. And so eventually they ended up asking me to do it because I had written a book in psychology where I had consulted with a number of different exorcists to deal with the interchange between how demons affect us psychologically. Because there are specific patterns that you'll begin to see that are distinguished from something that's just pure mental illness as opposed to something that's purely diabolic, which is different from the intermix. So, you know, if you saw the movie Nefarious, that's that interchange between the human and the diabolic psychology that you saw. But anyway, so they asked me to do the case, and so once I agreed to do it, and it had to do with the fact that when the case was diagnosed, the demon manifested to me the first time because
hybrid mental illness / demon.
Boom, he immediately manifested. The demon did, and that was an indicator that usually when demons will manifest in relationship to a priest, it's an indicator that that's the priest that's going to liberate. Usually. And that's because demons are very tuned to the power structure, and so they know this is the guy that Christ is intended for.
Bro's just coming up with this lore off the rip. It's just like
so when I started being their exorcist, I did that for about 2 years, and then I was actually moved to take care of a problematic parish. To clean it up, but I continued doing exorcisms for the Archdiocese of Omaha and one other and a couple of other dioceses actually. Again, because there was virtually nobody that was available. And then in 2011, Bishop Slattery of Tulsa asked me to found a society of priests that this is exclusively what we do. We only do exorcism work. We don't do parish work. I do lecture publicly, but primarily about this particular area to inform the people about what they can do to keep themselves protected. So that's how I kind of got drug into it. And so I've been doing exorcisms for about 18 years.
So when you started, there were 5 capable exorcists, you said? How many are there now?
Yo, we got some good news. Justin, Ukraine strikes Lukoil Norsai refinery, one of Russia's largest, sparking a major fire and the largest escalation targeting Russia's energy infrastructure. Let's go. W. Very based and red-pilled. W. Easter strike on Russia. Hell yeah. Frickin' yes. W. Easter strike.
//
Awesome. That's so cool, dude. We love to see it. We love to see it. I'll happily let them know. Obviously, you don't care that much to go find my Snapchat. What happened? Oh, that's Duminez docs. Oh. I didn't mean to dox and show that. I don't want to. I didn't post that. I'm locked on Twitter. I can't do anything.
I will punish them.
Oh. Okay, Duminez posting his own docs now. Nice.
I am almost homesick for the Florida that I knew growing up in the 90s. The Florida where a family could raise a family on a single income, where you could buy a home before the...
So true, Fishback.
60 Minutes has a YouTube short about Ukraine's drones that is pretty good.
I saw that, yeah.
And boat drone they used to blow up ships with.
I seen that, yeah. Yeah, Ukraine's got some good drone technology. Better than Russia's. Russia copies Ukraine's drone technology all the time. Every time Ukraine comes out with a new drone, Russia tries to recreate it. Ooh, look at that new image of the moon. History's in the making. This is a new image from Artemis. Nice. Awesome. How close are they? $79,000 miles to the moon. Going 18,050 miles per hour.
Will it be pitch black when they go behind the moon for them?
I don't know. It'll probably be pretty dark. Yeah, not pitch black though. Probably they'll probably still be like, you know, like when if you put your finger over your flash on your phone, and you can still kind of see like light emanate out from it. It's kind of be like that, I think. But I'm not 100% sure.
I hope they read up on George Gurdjieff. Weird.
What's Nico doing?
You want to feel the awkward tension of the moment.
Hey, dual citizen here in America.
Dark side.
Nico, you are basically a dual citizen, being a Muslim. You are loyal to Allah and a cube in Saudi Arabia or whatever. You are not loyal to America only.
Hey, dual citizen. Hey, dual citizen here in America, encouraging us to fight his war. His war.
He's just sitting there, editing a video.
The inner sanctum of the Jew temple is supposedly the same black cube of Saturn that houses the soul of Egyptian Satan Set or Seth in Hebrew.
I think it's, regardless, it's just some stupid ass, retarded ass, brown clown shit. Who cares?
Set and the company are goated. Oh slash.
Yes.
Russia's got a whole lot of cities that you just can't visit. Not in the usual sense of best not wander too close to that military base either, but in the sense of entire places and the lives built around them being hidden behind a special regime of secrecy and obfuscation. It sounds like a leftover bit of Soviet madness, doesn't it? The kind of thing you'd think would have died alongside the hammer and sickle hurled into the same rubbish bins as bread queues, 5-year plans, and all that other wonderful stuff. Yet no, here they are today, having not just survived the fall, but thrived after it, being reborn in a way that makes them far more formalized and codified than their communist forerunners, but still every bit as essential to the functioning of the state. But just what do they do in them? What is life like inside? How many of them are there? And how secret really is life inside of them? Well, as luck would have it, all of those and more are questions that we'll be answering today as we dive deep into the strange and secretive world of Russia's so-called
W Whistler verse.
All right, let's start by addressing a foundational question beyond vague notions of not being allowed in. What actually is a closed city? Well, a closed city is fundamentally still just a city, and in every sense of the word. They have schools for the children, supermarkets that you can go and get the weekly big shop in, bars aplenty for getting tanked up, and parks for dogs and the doing of their poos. They are in a sense perfectly normal, and yet despite all of that, a closed city could actually not be any less normal because they are, all of them, settlements with a specific primary purpose to facilitate and support the execution of top-secret matters of state. And we know what you're thinking. I mean, big whoop, Simon. So what? After all, school teachers in the beautiful British market town of Hereford have long since learned not to probe too heavily about what
I'm kind of bored of this. I don't really care about Russia's bum-ass cities. Bum-ass Russian-ass cities. Outside of Moscow and St. Petersburg, it's a fucking Soviet hellscape. It's so over. It's so over. Dang, dude, I kind of want to go meet up with the Taco Bell demon. Yeah, that shit sounds bomb. It's so over. Beyond recognition. Dude, JF is retweeting Midas Touch. Come on, JF. Range. JF's churning out. Dugan. The actual wars served just to kill unnecessary, superfluous humans who lost any relevance. The liberal humanism of the globalists was rejected because it was sort of obstacle on this path. The techno-racism, it now is the main trend. Trump is just an useful idiot. This techno-racism. That sounds based. What the? Dugan being a freaking libtard again. Like always. What's this? The replacement of humanity by a post-human species is already going on very quickly. What the fuck? The humans in the last century were conceived as biomechanical rational perils. Now the code is hacked and the neural networks can be constructed. Bro's fucking smoking some... Bro's smoking some crazy shit in Russia, bro. What do they got up in there, dude? What is the weed in Russia like? What is this? What are these? Is he smoking that crocodile shit or whatever? Dude, Dugan is just always geeking out, bro, on the timeline on like nonsense. Like, bro, it's crazy. This is the brain of Putin, by the way. The brain of Putin, by the way. Oh my god. Brain of Putin, by the way. Fucking A. That's crazy. Bro, it's fucking high as shit. That's funny.
As a socialist and anti-communism didn't work to stop him. That's big.
Yeah, I think we are in the heart of the imperial core. This is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately. And
guy out of my fucking country.
the reality of the
Him and Sneeko.
matter is,
Get out.
of antagonism. There's
They're both terrorist communist sympathizers. They're both communists and they're terrorist sympathizers. They gotta get deported or put in Guantanamo Bay.
one of the things that I try to address every day with my commentary.
Either or.
And I will say this: the conditions have deteriorated so much that everyday Americans, in spite of their lack of class consciousness, are finally arriving at the conclusion that
Get the fuck out of my country.
There's another thing that I'll do.
Houston, we are ready for morning DP.
לענות ראשון, למה אנחנו לא משתמשים בפצצת ניוטרון זה נקרא? זה סוג של פצצת אטום שלא פוגעת במזמן.
Dude, I can't believe the libtards are rolling around a big freaking Stephen Miller ball, dude. What the?
Kevin Deanna goes on Redis Radio now. Henrik has come a long way. He gets most of the picture.
I like Henrik. And Red Ice in general. They're good. Fucking joke, Kent. God bless our warriors. Thank God we rescued our pilot and all the rescuers escaped Iran safely. Now it's a great time to end this war and bring our Joe Kent. Maybe if you didn't fucking resign, you could have brought the pilot some. But no, you're a dumbass. Fuck you. And wanted to start a podcast with Tucker Carlson or something. Fuck you. Joe Ken is CIA.com. Joe Ken is a carpetbagger, Marxist, communist, Democrat. Oh yeah, I saw this today. Supposedly there's an experimental See, gene therapy is so based. Experimental gene therapy, ear injection, has cured deafness for 10 out of 10 patients in clinical trials. That's cool stuff. The problem, though, with the gene editing stuff is if you fuck up, you like cause turbo cancer. So that's like an issue. right? So they just need to keep working on the science and get it right. Wow, there's just nothing going on in the world now, huh? Oh, the Pope's doing Easter?
Da cui ci sentiamo minacciati.
Is he gonna give a communist? Is he gonna give a communist manifest? Any quotes from the Communist Manifesto? Again, or what? Oh, I'm not. I don't understand what he's saying. Look at this shit that RT posts. That's all they got is AI, dude. Fucking A. Let's go. Project Bluebeam Jesus. Hell yeah. Hope you.
What do you think it means?
Trump is done when the midterms hit has cooked.
Not looking good right now, I'll tell you that. But, you know, things will turn around. I don't know though. I think the Democrats are kind of cooked though too in a lot of ways. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna call the end of the stream now. We've been streaming for a while. 13, 14 hours. That's a big stream.
Nick and Owen are pushing Democrats seriously. I think they are handing